Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. You know what is really fun to do? It's going to get us breathing together and being together. It goes like this. Try that with me. Pop, pop. Everybody doing it, warming up the room. Here we go. Lie, 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 lie. 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 Lie, 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 lie. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hold on, I just have one question for Cantor that we didn't talk about beforehand. So if you'll just Shabbat Shalom for a second. Shabbat Shalom. How's
Shabbat
everybody
Shalom.
doing tonight?
That was one of our best meetings.
That was a good meeting. It was really efficient. We had one agenda item. We covered it quickly. Well, it is a beautiful, beautiful night here at Congregation Beth Israel. We are joined tonight by our regular Shabbat crowd, which is always, always wonderful. And we are joined by some new faces. Don't be shy. If you're here with our Introduction to Judaism class, give a little wave. Hi, Introduction to Judaism class. Oh, yay, we can clap for them. Sure, they'll like that. Yay. So as many of you know, I've been teaching an Introduction to Judaism class along with many of our other area rabbis on Tuesday nights. And the people who come to our Introduction to Judaism class are all kinds of people, either because they are considering Judaism, want to learn more, have a spouse maybe who's interested in Judaism, all kinds of reasons. And tonight is our Shabbaton, which means that they got to have a special little snackies beforehand, and they are also following along with the service in a kind of special order that's giving them some questions and thought prompts. So if you see someone maybe jotting down some notes or with some extra papers, they're not being rude, they're doing what I told them to.
Is there going to be a quiz afterwards?
There might be a quiz afterwards. But
Don't
first,
worry,
there's
don't worry,
oneg
there's no quiz,
afterwards, and we don't want to miss that. So Rabbi Khan has the pleasure of being up at camp this weekend. Lucky him. I had that pleasure last weekend, but Cantor and I, we've got this covered. We are thrilled to have Sid and Judy with us on the Bima. And most of all, we are delighted to welcome Shabbat tonight. I would love to invite the Luber and extended Luber family to please grace us with some Shabbat light. We have a lot of things to celebrate you all for later on in our service, but let's begin by just sharing your light and your joy with all of us tonight. You can find our candle blessing on page 2 or page 120.
Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Let's continue on page 138 or page 20 with Lecha Dodi. We will begin seated, singing verses 1 and 5, and then we'll stand to face the entrance for verse 9 as we greet the Shabbat bride.
Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela la 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 Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela lai lai shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad ishmiyanu le'aleuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad le'shem u'tiferet ve'le'litzkiha Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela la lai 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 la la Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5, top of the next page. Itoreri Kiva orek umiori Uri Shir daberi Kevod Adonai alai nila. Everybody now Lecha Dodi yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela lai 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 Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Let's stand and face the entrance to greet the Shabbat bride.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha ubetzolha toch emunei am segulha boi kala Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela lai 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 Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Let's be seated. We'll turn to page 144 or 26 for the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei bechayechon v'yomechon u'bechayei techol beit Yisrael bagala u'vizman akari ve'imeru Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam ul'al me'al maya Yitbarach יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם וינשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה. בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דהמירן בעלמה וימרו.
We take a moment now to ask for God's blessings on those who are observing a period of Shiva or Shloshim, the immediate 7 and 30-day mourning periods. If you wish to, we invite you to please stand at this time so that we may ask for God's blessings upon you. Hamakom yenachem etchem, may you be comforted among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We stand together as we turn to page 146 or 28 for the Baruch Hu.
Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Let's stay standing as we turn to the next page. We'll read together in the English at the top of page 149 or page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב ערבים.
Next page, let's read together at the bottom in English. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 152 or 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Try it.
It's on. Let's be seated as we turn to, there we go, as we turn to page 154 or 36 for the Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha u'bechol nafshecha u'bechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha Hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam beshivtecha bebeitecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
So as I was getting ready for tonight and I was speaking with the intro students, I asked them a question. One of them said, isn't that when, you say something and then we say something and then you say something and then we say something? So I feel like in that vein, it's really important to do a true responsive reading the way it's meant to be done. Are we ready? Yes. Okay, good. Page 157 or 39. Let's read responsively. That means I start, okay? All right, good. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Next page.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Let's try that. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. The next part is the same melody. Mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Now we're going to put it together, and that's the chorus. It's one of my favorite melodies. It really sounds like it's straight from Israel, where you're going to be.
I'm going to go. I'll be there. I'll tell you if I hear it.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Lo ratzehilot oseh felech. Lo ratzehilot oseh felech. Mahalechutecha ra'al panecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'li yahanu ve'yameru, Adonai Va'ed. Let's go. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh v'nehemar kifada Adonai et Yaakov. Galo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Israel. Here we go. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha. Time. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh.
From vulnerability to protection, we turn to Hashkivenu, page 160 or page 142. We find our safe place here with one another.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomrei, nu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomrei, nu lechayim.
Ushmor et tzeitzenu uvoeinu lechayim u'leshalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Let's continue together.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomrei,
Eloheinu
lechayim.
v'hamidenu shomrei,
Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomrei,
Eloheinu
lechayim.
v'hamidenu shomrei,
Eloheinu leshalom,
v'hamidenu shomrei,
nu lechayim.
Page 162 or 44. I encourage you as we sing V'shamru tonight, our prayer for Shabbat, to consider how you will bring Shabbat through all the way until tomorrow night, until you see those 3 stars in the sky. What will you do to make these 25 hours of Shabbat feel special, feel new, feel restful? We need this rest. We need this rest. How will you make it a part of you over the next period of Shabbat?
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריאת עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריאת ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. Let's everyone join together. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Last time. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Amen.
Amen. Let's turn to page 164 or page 46 for the Amidah, which is our standing prayer. So we will stand together and we think of all of the reasons, all of the ways, all of the opportunities that we have to stand together as one community as we ask God to open up our lips and bring us together in prayer.
Yai lai 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 yala lai lai lai
Yalla lai lai
lai
yalla lai lai lai
yala lai 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 yala lai 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 yala lai lai lai
yalla lai lai
Adonai sefatai tikach ufiati tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei Hakol, Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imachot, U'mevii Geula Livnei V'nechem, Leman Shemo Be'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol, Atah Rav LeHoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed. Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofech olim. Umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato. Lishenei afar. Michamocha bagevurot. Umido melach. Melech memit umechayeh. Umatzmiach Yeshua. Veneman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch ata Adonai mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kedoshim bechol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
May be seated. Turn to page 173 or 55. Let's read together at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. We take this time now for our own private prayers, for our own personal reflections, and we'll come back together with a prayer for peace in just a few moments.
Let's turn together, page 180, Yehiyu leratzon. Yehiyu leratzon imrei fi. Yehiyu leratzon imrei fi. Vehekyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri vegohali. Oh, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you. My rock and my redeemer. Amen.
We continue with Mishaberach Lecholim, our prayer for healing. You can find the Are we doing the words on page 371? All right. Page 371, we'll find the words of our prayer.
Mi shebeirach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
As many of you know, in just a little bit over a week, I'll be heading to Israel with a number of people from Congregation Beth Israel and our friends from PRBC. But an interesting thing happens when people know you're on the way to Israel, because usually when you're on the way to Israel, it means that at some point in time, you'll find yourself standing at the Kotel, at the Western Wall. An important place, a poignant place, a prayerful place. And people might say, when they know that you are going to visit the Kotel, when you are there, will you please pray for my loved one? Will you please pray for me? Will you please pray for something really important, because you're going to be in that place where your prayers might be heard. And this is important, and this is meaningful, and I will for anyone who asks. I will. But I also want to draw us back to these moments like this, when we are together in this place and we have the opportunity to bring our prayers together, that they are just as poignant, just as meaningful, just as potent, because they are surrounded by not just history, but community. Because we have the power of one another when we offer prayers in this sacred space too. So just because you can't get yourself to Jerusalem this time, your prayers still matter, your prayers are still heard, and we still have power in our ability to pray for one another when we are in a time of need. So with that in mind, if there's someone you're thinking of who is in need of healing, I invite you to share those names out loud. If you're with us online, you can put those names in the chat. And if you don't want to say it out loud, that's okay too. But we come together with the strength of community as we think of those who are in need of healing. Together we wish a speedy recovery to those of our community who are in need of healing. We think of Bracha Bat Baruch, Albert Bick, Cassie Black, Stephen Black, Gerald Buckman, Rita Buckman, Molly Burleson, Dove Malka, Miriam Bat Yaakov Achaya, Dr. Kevin Harris, Mark Hester, Gretchen Husinker, Stan Quaison, Mark Leb, Pam Meyer, Sherry Miller, Ryan Ray, Don Rosenblum, Sally Rosenblum, Dr. Larry Saltzman, Gary Stern, Rosemary Rizzo-Tolk, Roberta Scharf, Robin Hughes Spottelson, Addison Thompson, Gary Weltman, and Fred Morrow.
Let's join together. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We turn together to page 376 or 258, where we find a prayer for our country. Let's read together. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Amen. And page 377 or 259, we join together in a prayer for the state of Israel.
Avinu shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael vegoalo, Varechet Medinat Yisrael, Yeshit Smichat Geulateinu.
O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Avinu shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael vegoalo. Amen. Selah. Amen. Selah.
Amen.
Amen. So, Cantor,
So, Rabbi,
are you ready for a field trip? No. We need some. Jackie would give us a little.
there you go.
This way or that way?
we're off to see the Lubers, the wonderful Lubers of CBI.
Hi, Louver family. They're all the way
I
over
know. Wait, I
there.
gotta go over there.
Do. Here we go.
Here we go. Keep
Around
going.
the
We're
sanctuary.
going. Around.
It's not weird. This
No,
is
we like
totally
the new.
normal. Hi,
Hello.
Louver
We have
family. Ooh, the acoustic. I can hear
I
myself a lot
know.
more over here. Wow. Well, Sharon. Come on over here. So a little birdie told us that October is a big month.
It's a big month.
October is a big month. We have a big birthday, a special birthday. Can I say what birthday? 75th birthday. That is not something to
Fantastic
sneeze at.
birthday.
I celebrated a birthday, but it is not as important.
You wait.
I look forward to it. And we have a big anniversary. What number anniversary? 55. What's the
55.
anniversary day?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
And Joe, are you ready to celebrate or do you want to wait a little?
I'm ready to celebrate.
You've got a big birthday coming up too.
80.
Number 80 is coming. 80 is coming.
It's coming. It's coming. So, Joe and Sharon, I was telling our introduction to Judaism class about you all because I had to explain the oneg, and I said that Joe and Sharon are like the mayors of CBI. That everybody knows Joe and Sharon but this is important. It's not just because you inviting everyone to dinner is wonderful, but it's because you celebrate every moment of welcome and you do it with a smile. And people might wonder, how is it that we come to be celebrating our 75th and 80th birthdays? We come to be celebrating our 55th wedding anniversary, and we're still so happy about it. These opportunities to celebrate. This is something that we learn. This is something we learn from you. That every moment is an opportunity to celebrate. That every time we ask anyone about the congregation, Joe, you say, I just love it. That you find joy in the most mundane moments. You find joy in the pleasure of being together, in the pleasure of being here, in the joy of knowing that these moments are worth celebrating. And this is, I think, perhaps one reason why you bring so much joy to everybody else. So I want to thank you all for the opportunity to celebrate tonight, for the opportunity to celebrate with you as you continue to notice all of these important milestone moments, and that you continue to raise up the moments worth celebrating. Because in a world that is as difficult as ours sometimes is, we get through it by remembering to celebrate. So as you celebrate all of these incredible things, all of these big round numbers happening for you all this year, to remember that every single one of these is worth celebrating. And may you have so many more. And with this, we offer you these words of blessing.
I'll stand over here. Yevarechechem Adonai ve'yishmerechem.
May God bless you and may God keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav alechem v'chunekem.
May God's face shine on you as you shine on all of us, and always be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elechem ve'asem lachem shalom, shalom.
May you always feel God's presence within you like you do at this moment. And may you always feel the blessing of celebration and the blessing of peace.
Ve'asem lachem shalom, shalom.
Amen.
Amen. Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov,
You all.
siman tov, siman
Thank you for
tov,
the-
und mazel tov, siman tov, und mazel tov, siman tov, Yehelanu. Siman tov, und mazel tov, siman tov, und mazel tov, siman tov, und mazel tov, siman tov,
Well, enjoy that moment of celebration, because this is not my most uplift. Well, it gets better. It gets better at the end, I promise. It'll get uplifting. Well, Shabbat Shalom. So, I don't know, how many of you are California transplants here? How many from LA? Nobody walks in LA. Nobody walks in LA. I lived in LA for 10 years. And I would say about half of that time was spent in the car. Especially, there were years where I had internships in the San Fernando Valley. And so every day after my classes at Hebrew Union College, which were closer to downtown, I would have to spend usually an hour, which is probably on the low end, probably closer to 2 hours, in slow-moving traffic, driving up and down. It was the 10 to the 405 to the 101. But most of that traffic was on the 405. I got to know the landmarks really well. There are the exits that lead you into fancy neighborhoods, and then there's that stretch that takes you past the important Jewish cultural buildings like the Skirball Museum and the American Jewish University. I see some nodding. Yes, you know exactly what stretch I'm talking about. And when you drive a road like that day after day, you get to know the more mundane landmarks as well. You notice certain bends in the road, quirky billboards, exits with interesting names. And this is why, after years of driving that road, when a certain 405 overpass received media attention this week, I recognized the location immediately. It was like a sense memory. Seeing the pictures of that overpass, I could remember what it felt like to sit for hours in LA traffic, surrounded by anonymous people, all stuck inside their own vehicles. I remember taking in the smell of smog and air conditioning, feeling dazed as we all just gazed up at the road ahead. What it must have felt like to be at a standstill on that road last Saturday. I assume all of the drivers on the road could see that there was something unusual on the horizon. And then as they slowly approached the overpass, they saw the words, "Honk if you know, Kanye is right about the Jews," looming up above. And behind their hateful signs were humans holding out their arms in a Nazi salute. Every time we look out at the world, we do so with our Jewish eyes. And last Saturday, that view was painful. It was personal. This is not casual prejudice. This is threatening, menacing public hatred towards the Jewish community. Supporting a vocal anti-Semite who has used his platform as a rapper and a songwriter and a producer and a designer to garner power and attention. And I don't imagine that his vile words about going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people were coincidentally timed with the 4-year anniversary of the 11 Jews who were murdered as they prayed at the Tree of Life synagogue. Let me be clear. I do not care deeply at all about Kanye West or whatever name he wants to be known by. I am not terribly concerned by whatever nonsense he chooses to tweet, and I'm not really interested in his misguided ploys for publicity or power. What I do care about, and what does worry me, are the people who are listening to him or looking to him for some kind of purpose or legitimacy. What worries me is what my children will see when they look out at the world with their Jewish eyes. What messages will they see on the horizon? In this week's Torah portion, Noah and his family, too, are stuck in a vehicle at a standstill. They did not travel on the 405, nor did they experience any traffic as they floated on dark seas in an ark with a veritable zoo full of animals for 40 days and 40 nights. Vayigbaru hamayim, vayirbu me'od al vatelech hateva al pnei hamayim. The waters swelled and increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark drifted upon the waters. Instead of being surrounded by cars, Noah and his family were surrounded by water. But they were similarly stuck in their vessel, unable to arrive at their destination until circumstances beyond their control cleared the way. The rabbis can only guess at what kind of depravity Noah and his family were exposed to before the great flood. Torah only tells us that God considered Noah an ish tzaddik, a righteous man, pure, at least compared to those of his generation. We can imagine that when Noah looked out at the world, he saw people that were full of Hamas, or violence. We can imagine that Noah's world was familiar with the kind of hatred shown by the neo-Nazis standing on the overpass. We can imagine Noah's fear as he readied himself to step out of the ark when the rains finally subsided. We can imagine his concern that perhaps the world had not yet changed. What if it was still the frightening place it had been before he and his family and his animals boarded the boat? We imagine Noah drawing a deep breath. He steps out onto the deck of the ark and lifts his eyes to the sky. And there, waiting to meet his gaze, is a sign from God. Et kashti natati v'haita la'ot brit beini uvein haaretz. I have set my bow in the clouds, and it shall serve as a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Noah sees a rainbow, a blessing. On the horizon, there is a covenantal sign that there are better days ahead. From here, we learn the tradition of offering words of blessing every time we see a rainbow. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zocher habrit, v'ne'eman bivrito v'kayam ba'amaro. Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. True to your word, you remember your covenant with creation. According to the rabbis, even on our worst days, we are commanded to count 100 blessings. This is easier on some days than on others. It depends on what we see when we look out the window. We gaze upon the horizon. Do we see a world that is reminiscent of Noah's generation? Or do we find a reminder of God's promise, the blessing of human potential? In other words, when we look at the world with our Jewish eyes, do we see signs of hatred held up by neo-Nazis in an angry salute? Or do we see a rainbow? We are supposed to count 100 blessings every day. So let's take a look at the world around us. Alex Toussaint, a popular Peloton instructor, made a pointed statement in his class on Monday that he would no longer play Kanye West music in his classes. Because I love everybody, he said. I want to make sure everybody feels safe in my environment and in my classes. You know I stand with you. I do not support hate speech whatsoever. And Toussaint's bold statement inspired the social exercise platform to state officially that no new classes would feature any music by Kanye West. We count this blessing. Adidas, who has sponsored styles designed by West, has cut ties and stopped the production of his products as he doubled down on anti-Semitic hate speech. Ye, this is his new name for himself, Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous, they said in a statement. This follows the terminations of his contracts with other major corporations like Gap and JP Morgan Chase. We count this blessing. Closer to home, the Maricopa NAACP sent out a statement of support to all of us, their Jewish friends and allies. Dr. Karen Hardin, president of our local branch, wrote, "Recent vociferous anti-Semitic comments by Kanye West are unacceptable and will not be condoned by our organization. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, and American Jewish Community have a long shared history. The 103-year-old Maricopa County branch of the NAACP also has an important relationship with the Jewish community in Arizona. We tirelessly uphold our mission by focusing on collective action in opposition to long-standing and ongoing threats to our democracy and disenfranchisement of religious or minority groups. Now, more than ever, especially in Arizona, it is time for all of us to step up and take actions necessary to challenge activities that impede inclusivity in our society. We count this blessing." My friend, Jay Tinsley, who I met through our shared work in the Phoenix Black Jewish cohort, is now also a part of our Chevra religious school community, along with his Jewish wife and children. He spoke with the Jewish News this week explaining, "As I become proximate with other people in the Jewish community, my fear for them increases." He hopes that the silent majority who believe in the goodness of everyone will stand up and make their voices heard for what's right. We count this blessing. These blessings abound. Part of seeing the world with Jewish eyes means that there will be days when we wonder if we can trust the people in the car next to us. We will see menacing strangers standing on the overpass or waiting on the shore as we pull our boat out of the rising seas of uncertainty. But even on the hardest days, we can take comfort. There are so many people who are blessings for us, who stand with us, who are the hopeful rainbow on the horizon. I am reminded of the famous poem by Pastor Martin Niemöller. "Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak up because I was not a Jew." And I am consoled today because in the face of overt hatred, when it would have been easy to stay silent, our true friends in this world spoke up for us. We count this blessing. The world will not always be kind. This week in Torah, we learn that sometimes there will be rain and floods and rough waters, but so too will there be rainbows. If we are willing to step out on deck and look up with our Jewish eyes, we can see the promise and see the good. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God. Your presence fills creation, allowing us to count, even on the hardest days, these many blessings. Amen. Sid, I would love for you to come and share with us the short list that signifies the very many things happening here at Congregation Beth Israel.
I'm seeing this with my Jewish eyes.
Very nice. Glad you wore your glasses.
Shabbat Shalom. Lunch and Learn with Cantor Ettinger, Wednesday, November the 2nd at 12 noon, in person or by Zoom. The Zoom link is available in the weekly newsletter, and the topic will be Exploring the Songs of Stephen Sondheim. Thank you to Sharon and Joe Luber for sponsoring this evening's Oneg. Please join us in the courtyard at the conclusion of services and partake. Please join us for a special Shabbat service on Friday, November the 11th at 6:15 p.m., where we will honor the veterans in our community with a special blessing and musical presentation, and further connect during an extended Oneg following the service. If you have names of veterans in your family whom you would like us to mention during Mishiberach or Kaddish, please send their names to Gail Gilmartin. Please register for the service as usual so we know how many to expect. We thank our veterans for their courageous service to our country. In the Long Range Planning Department, May the 19th, 2023, mark your calendar, there will be a special CBI adult retreat. If you are joining us for the first time or viewing Shabbat services from outside the Valley of the Sun, feel free to introduce yourselves virtually in the comment section below on YouTube or on Facebook. Shabbat Shalom.
Almost. There we go. I want to give a gentle reminder that if any of you want to see yours truly in a concert performance of Sweeney Todd tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at Central United Methodist Church, please come up and talk to me after the show. We had the lead rehearsal last night. I was in the tail end of it, and I'll tell you, these are some of the finest singers I've ever heard in my life. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and tickets are pay what you wish. So come up and talk to me after. We would love to see everybody there. It's going to be at Central United Methodist Church tomorrow night at 7 p.m., and it's going to be absolutely exquisite, and I promise you will all stay till the end of the show. And you know what performance I'm referring. That just left from ASU Gamage. You will all stay till the end.
I don't get that reference.
I'll fill you in later.
Okay, that sounds good. Sweeney Todd sounds fun, but if you want to come hear me talk about Brandeis, that's happening on Sunday. I can't compete with Sweeney Todd. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll be an Annie.
I'll do Annie here. You'll be an Annie.
We'll do Annie.
It's great.
The sun'll come out. It'll be great. I think we should stop talking and continue the service because it's all going downhill from Annie. Let's turn to page 586 or 282 for Aleinu. Let's stand.
There we go. There we go. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
At this time in our service, we remember those who are no longer with us. We think of those who have died in recent days. We remember those who have died at this time in years past. If there is someone you are remembering tonight, we will ask you in just a moment to share their name out loud. Tonight we are remembering Dr. William Myers, husband of Sandra Myers. We are also remembering Edgar Anston, Samuel Clayman, Goldie G. Cohen, Marcia Davis, Irving Gelden, Kenneth Gottlieb, Myron Greenberg, Gladys Green, Michael Solomon Haskis, Samuel Hilton, Dora Kogan, Patricia Korick, Catherine Martin, Saul Migeff, Rose Moretsky, Irving Morris, Morris Mulhauser, Randy Oakner, Nettie Press, Bruce Rafelson, Samuel Raitson, Abe Scher, Arthur K. Seligman, Marcia Strauss, Elmer Taxman, Maurice Weinstein, Esther Winoker, and Anita Zalbin. If there's someone else you are remembering tonight, or if I have mispronounced the name of your loved one, I invite you to share those names out loud at this time. We also remember the 6 million who perished in the Shoah, including the 1.5 million children who have no one to say Kaddish for them. As always, we recall with admiration the soldiers and civilians of the state of Israel who've given their lives for our Jewish homeland. And tonight we remember the 11 souls that were lost at the Tree of Life shooting in Squirrel Hill. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may all of their lives be for a blessing. We can find words of Kaddish, page 598 or 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayachon uvyomechon uchayei dechol beit Yisrael. Bagalau v'zman kari v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudashah b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who are in mourning, and comfort to all who are bereaved as we say together, amen.
I invite you to close your Siddurim and repeat these words of consolation. Everything's gonna be all right. 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 Say shalom bimromav. Say shalom aleinu. Say shalom bimromav. Say shalom. Shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu.
It is our tradition to invite up anyone under the age of bar bat mitzvah to come and help us with Kiddush and Motzi. We have a few people here who fit the bill. So Ben, I know you're on your way. Wakely, if you would like to, all you have to do is hold the cup. That's all you have to do. And yes, my friend, you look like you could help hold a challah. Yeah. Ben, you're going to have to help lead the Kiddush because, yeah, because I know you can. Come on over. Yeah. All right, Wakely, you're just going to hold that. That's all you got to do. Okay. I'm going to give this to you, and I'll tell you when. Okay, we'll do it together. Ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'vrachon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh bereshit k'yom Kehilah Kedoshah kodesh ve'peret tziyat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'tanu kivata v'bohami v'shabbat kodecha v'yahava u'vashon v'nchatzanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
It's grape juice. It's grape juice, yeah. Chaim. All right, will you take that green top off? What's in there? Is it a challah? It's a challah!
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
B'tei Avon. Thank you all. Shabbat shalom. Sharon and Joe, mazel tov, and thank you. We look forward to Oneg intro class. I'll see you back in the conference room in about 10-ish minutes. Get a treat and then come on in.